Hello students, I'm Dr. Ashoka CH, Assistant Professor in Zoology, Government First Grade College, Yelahanka, Bengaluru. Today's session will be on regeneration. This is session number 28 in the paper 7 of Zoology, Developmental Biology and Organic Evolution. Definition. Regeneration is a natural process that allows plants and animals to replace or restore damaged or missing cells, tissues, organs, and even entire body parts to full function. Interstitial cells represent the reserve of embryonic totipotent cells that take part in regeneration. Regeneration involves cell proliferation and migration, blastema formation, and differentiation of blastema into lost parts. Animals' body parts are susceptible to get damaged. The damage may be a wound which partially destroys the tissues of the animal's body, or it may involve the loss of an organ or larger part of the body. All living organisms regenerate as part of natural processes to maintain tissues and organs. Some animals have extensive regenerative abilities. For example, the tiny freshwater animal called hydra can form two whole bodies after being cut in half. The axolotl or Mexican salamander is an animal with a backbone that can regenerate the form and function of almost any limb, organ, or other body part. Among animals, the power of regeneration was first discovered in Hydra by Abraham Tremblay in 1744. Since then, it has been seen to occur in all animals. Reparative regeneration. In this, multicellular organism has the power only to repair certain damaged cells of the body. It is a common phenomenon observed in both invertebrates as well as the vertebrates. Restorative regeneration. In this, a multicellular organism can redevelop the severed body parts, or the whole body can be formed from a body segment. It is very common in invertebrates. It may occur by epimorphosis or morpholepsis. The power of restorative regeneration varies in different groups of organisms. This table shows Differences between reparative and restorative regeneration. In reparative regeneration, the organism has the power only to repair certain damaged cells of the body. In restorative regeneration, the organism can redevelop the severed body parts, or the whole body can be formed from a body segment. Mechanism of regeneration. T.H. Morgan recognized two primary mechanisms of regeneration in animals. One, morphallaxis, second, epimorphosis. Morphallaxis has little growth and depends upon repatterning of tissues, as seen in Hydra. Epimorphosis depends upon growth of new and correctly patterned structures. Morphallaxis. Morgan was intrigued by the regulatory shape changes that transform short, relatively wide transverse pieces into well-proportioned, long and narrow planarians. He coined the term morphallaxis after change to morphallaxis. Morphallaxis is true regeneration where organisms from its cut part can make a new organism. Morphallaxis is observed in planaria and Hydra. Regeneration in Hydra. Hydra regeneration is categorized as morphallaxis. A blastema is not formed. Direct rearrangement of pre-existing cells in the stump contributes to regeneration. Epimorphosis. Epimorphosis is false regeneration, where organisms restore or repair its lost part. Epimorphosis is of two types: reparative, which is observed in liver and repairing of any wound. Restorative is observed in lost tail of lizard. In metazoans, regeneration of lost body parts requiring the formation of a blastema is known as epimorphic regeneration. Epimorphosis is regeneration of tissues or organs through the de-differentiation of existing differentiated adult tissues. Adult cells redifferentiate into a mass of cells that then redifferentiates into the new structure. This phenomenon is seen in frog, newt, and salamander limbs. Their limbs may be amputated, but the lost portions of the limb are able to grow back. Regeneration in planarians. Planarians among platyhelminthes possess unique power of regeneration. Planarians may be cut across or lengthwise, and each part of the body will regenerate the missing half. A planarian can regenerate the entire organism from a middle section of the pharynx. If the anterior end of the planaria is cut along the length into two or more parts, each part develops into a new head, resulting in a many-headed monster. Polarity. When a section from the middle of the body of a planaria is cut out, the head end and the tail end removed, a head will regenerate at the anterior end and a tail at the posterior end. In planarians, power of regeneration is maximum near the head and minimum near the posterior end. This is correlated with the metabolic rate, which is highest in the head and becomes progressively lower towards the tail. This variation in metabolic rate and associated regenerative power is called metabolic or axial gradient. The concept was first given by C.M. Child in 1941. Domination. The morphogenetic activity associated with the high pole of the gradient exercises domination over the lower levels of the gradient. Child's gradient model postulated differences in metabolic activity along the antero-posterior axis. Child's model was based on two sets of results. One, in many planarians, either the ability to regenerate a head or the speed of head regeneration is different along the AP axis, often declining from head to tail. Second, treatments with respiratory inhibitors and anesthetics revealed a differential susceptibility to these agents along the antero-posterior axis of the organism. Child interpreted these results to reflect a respiratory gradient throughout the animal, with a highest point at the anterior region of the animal. To sum up, regeneration is the ability of an adult organism to replace a lost part of its body. The ability to regenerate varies greatly among different groups of organisms and even different species within a group. Mammals have a very limited powers of regeneration, whereas nymphs can regenerate limbs, jaws, and the lens of the eye. Regeneration of limbs in amphibians may in part reflect the retention or reactivation of embryonic mechanisms.